They say he's like the best Bruno out in Myanmar, so maybe if he gets the Bruno in his hands, it could be the difference. But as we are now jumping into the draft for game number 2 in this best of 5 for knockout stage, day 2. And we see Falcons rise to the occasion and even out this series.
All right, opening up, it's Falcon Esports on the play. Fanatic Onic answering back. A respect for Brusco's Matilda. And it's just another day in the office for Fanatic Onic, banning out the usual Fanny and Jushin.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple overall. My guess is FNOP once again is going to force FCON into some sort of trade. Now, FCON taking a page out of FNOP's book and banning out the Granger, and now this time Fanatic Onic have that choice between the Suyo or the Bruno, but I don't think they're going to ban either, man. I think they're willing to throw the trade out. They are comfortable enough to be like, fine, pick which one do you want, man?
Exactly.
Because we're going to get 2 powers back. Hilda's still open. Cho's still open. So many options, and they ban out the Hylos. So now FCON is in the sticky situation once again. This is what FCON was supposed to do last game.
Yep, and FNOP made it happen from blue, red this time. They did it blue, now it's in red. They go, all right. They get the Bruno, and now FNOP can go Suyo X, Suyo Hilda.
Suyo Hilda, Suyo whatever, honestly.
But it puts Falcon in a good situation, right? Like we said, Benny's definitely comfortable on this Bruno, but Fanatic Onic not going to waste any time. 2 heavy hitters, the Cho and the Joy.
And the Joy has been known to do very well against the Suyo. It can win out in the 1v1s. We've seen so many junglers win out against the Suyo. It's one of the few junglers right now who can go to like toe-to-toe in terms of just 1v1. So now FCON has to think maybe they don't pick the Suyo. Maybe they go for something like the Alpha. Bovius again. This one looks a little better against the Joy and the Cho.
Yep.
So maybe it's not complete comfort, but at least it looks good.
So in the first phase alone, I can say that Falcon Esports are again hedging on Royal Milk. A lot of their big wins in Swiss, and even in the opening day of knockout, was off of Royal Milk popping off. So far, it's looking like Falcon Esports have that, at least in the first phase. The Monster Mage picks up the Farsa once more. I like this against the Phobius.
Well, we have to see what's going to be the response in the gold lane, though, right? I mean, we see the Bruno picked up from Benny. There's been a couple of different marksmen that have rose to the occasion. With the Granger being off the table, you still have the Moskov. You still have the Natan.
The Layla.
Doing really good. The Layla.
We saw it from Keller before against the Bruno.
That's right.
I'm just saying, we can't count Kelra out.
No.
I'm not even worried about his gold pick because it doesn't really feel like it matters that much. Like, he'll make ends meet with whatever you give him.
Exactly. Now, how hilarious would it be, but just as well, very justified, that Falcon bans the Bea and the Layla, and then they allow the fair pick of the Moskov.
You know, it'd be funny to see Fanatic Onic pick up the glue. You know, especially, you could technically put in the XP lane up against the Phobius and
That's
just
right.
let the Cho
does well against it.
Run the roam position, and honestly, it'd be a really good pickup here considering the Cho's single target. Well, I guess not single target CC, but it's not as easily able to control majority of the map. So I think that would be an excellent pickup.
Now, if that happens, I don't think I'd like to see the Layla, because there's nobody protecting you. That's 2 dive type of frontliners, and Kelra is left alone. Kelra's good, but not, you know, no peel good.
I'm on the mind of FCON jungle right now, and Alpha's gone. Suyo is open, but I think FNOP wants them to go Suyo.
They'd rather
I'm
him
almost
Suyo.
looking last, you know, slot 5, they go for maybe an assassin here. Maybe it's time to bring out something like that, the Haya, something along those lines. We know they have that type of jungler in their kit, and it could be troublesome for the Farza and the rest of the team.
But the stats say Suyo has a better score over Joy. Is
I haven't
Fanatic
seen the 1v1.
Exactly. Is Fanatic Onic the one to say, you know what? You don't know the beast. You don't know the Sigma jungler. You haven't seen him mewing, looks maxing, Ohio Phantom Tax. You haven't. So maybe they'll allow that. And that's exactly what they're saying here.
I mean, they can go for it. And it will work. I mean, it can work. It's pretty much whoever gets the first few kills, right? From what we've seen, we saw yesterday, we saw Joy win out sometimes. We saw the Suyo win out. Whoever scales a bit quicker is going to win out.
Yeah, right now you are seeing that Claude picked up. It's going to have a little bit of that survivability working inside of Kelra's favor. I mean, he was already hard to kill before, right? But now it's going to be even more challenging. Not to mention, he should be able to soak in to the more tankier composition with that Phoveus and that Tig on the other side.
And there's the Suyo confirmed. You still need a mid laner. What does BX7 pick up here? His Vex is open.
Vex is open.
Eve is open
Eve
too.
is still open. We saw the Eve Tig from FNOP yesterday, and it did wonderful together. They could go for something like a Root. Oh no, they still need a mid. Vex.
Your team is picking.
Oh,
They go for the Pheromones this time. But against the Claude, against the Pharsa, against the Joy, it's a little scary. They're picking that into multiple counters.
Well, they can go the glue. I would have said Vexana just for the fact if you could deny the glue from Fanatic.
Yeah, but
Onic.
glue gets hard countered.
You're gonna
by
get
the
blown
Pheromones.
up.
Yeah, you're gonna get blown up. Pheromones destroy.
Oh, true.
Glue.
That is true.
Priestess of Primal
Keep it
Lightning,
simple.
the
Put
hunter
Kirk
of
on
all evil gods.
the Edith.
did you see
That's
Kirk
the
last night?
signature.
You
Monstrous.
see Kirk last night?
He did not. I'm just kidding.
Monster.
All right, y'all know he didn't die. So, with that said, let's throw it over to our casters. Calling game number 2. Nice one, Ian. Let's go.
Hey, you know who saw Kirk last night? We did. And everybody else saw Kirk's performance, but also Phoveus and Benny's Bruno this time around, man. I gotta say, it was an electrifying game 1, but this draft this time for Falcon Esports, is it gonna be enough to take them into the series and even it out 1-1, Ian?
You know, I do have to agree with Trex, man. You picked up the Faramis up against the Pharsa and the Claude, natural counters of the Faramis. They're just gonna burn through the Netherrealm, but let's still see how Falcon will respond to Fnatic Onic.
They've got to respond. They both have comfort picks leading into this game. And really, when it comes down to it, you got to be able to contain the lightning that is Fnatic Onic Philippines. We'll see if Falcon can soar high. Game number 2, jumping to the land of Dawn. It breaks down to this, Dax and King Kong in the jungle. This time Dax, also a pick that he loves to take into the games. We'll see how he answers mid lane. It gets a lot of action early on, especially when we see the Cho in play. And this time they'll try to secure the buffs and the early rotations. But Ingon, anything sticking out so far emblem-wise for you when we get a preview of it?
Not so much. It's just that Dax, again, resulted to the Impure Rage, so you know that he wants to go for the sustain. Not so much about the attack, but looking at Kelra, unfazed, unbothered. Quantum Charge, Master Assassin.
Yeah.
He wants to go aggressive in the gold lane.
This is what I love about Kirk, too. Kirk loves the Warcry emblem on the Edith. And there's a reason why he gets so many kills when he does pick it. Such a comfort pick for him. And we've even seen him go to the extent of just taking Lords alone. So, again, something that Falcon Esports wants to go ahead and keep in consideration. A lot of the early poking going back and forth. Brusco loves to be pretty aggressive on the Cho. A King Kong, too, on this side of the jungle.
Oh, Kirk, okay. Earth Shatter Flicker combination. Here comes King Kong. Might be able to take down Dax. Super Friends once again shining for the Super family. They want to extend their lead by trying to go for Royal Milk. But again, Brusco will disengage. That was a huge response coming in from Super Friends.
Big response, PX7 could be in trouble. Brusco taking a couple of shots, 1 kick, 2 kicks, gone. Super Friends will pick up the kill.
The aggression of the mid-roam combination paired up with King Kong's fast farming. This was actually what the panel has been saying. In terms of statistic, Suyo has a better win rate compared to Joy, but again, Trek said it's all gonna boil down to who's gonna farm up faster. And so far, King Kong is 1 level ahead of Dax.
I'm wondering how this matchup will play a part. You know, we saw this answer already. Benny, in trouble! The feathered airstrike finds the mark, and now the fight for the turtle's gonna break out.
Inferno Pursuit, they're gonna try and work on Kirk. Kirk pops his ultimate, but gets pulled up and hit with the Queller. A trade for Falcon Esports. And now they're gonna transition to the turtle. Let's see how Brusco and Super Friends will react.
They're just gonna give this up. Looks like Falcon Esports will get the objective. They secure the turtle. Meanwhile, though, leave it up to FNOP to find something else where a ton of gold go in the hands of Kelra here as he pushed in. Still, of course, working on that first item. Did get the level 2 boots, though, to help with some of the trades against the Bruno. So he's got that little extra physical defense to go ahead and deal with that, because this is a matchup that, yeah, maybe some people wouldn't like to play in the Bruno. I mean, Bruno, obviously, just massive win rate right now, pick rate as well. The Claude so much, not so much so. You know, it's specific gold laners and players that really like to utilize this, and Kelra being one of them. Actually, we just see a lot of the gold laners from the Philippines like to go for the Claude. And it's always something they can take into consideration later in the game where they split push on the map.
Yeah, and I think that's why Fnatic Onic Philippines early rotated up top, because we've been talking about this a while ago that they normally don't engage in a gold lane, but in this case, since the opposing team has the Bruno and Keller has an unfavorable hero in this Claude, they have to work on the gold lane. But right now, Royal Nick with an Infernal Pursuit.
They're gonna go in. Kirk, a little bit of health still left. Will flicker on out defensively. So going to be just fine. Now still the fight. Going to disengage both sides, but some battle spells, ultimates used in that exchange. There's the kick though.
And the Feathered Airstrike. PX7 though with the Nether Realm to try and save Kid X. Brusco forced to use the Flicker. So that was still a good initiation, counter initiation for Falcon Esports. They did, however, lose their Nether Realm with this incoming turtle.
Part of this again too is just to be able to contain, allowing your junglers to get the buffs. Now look at King Kong. He can actually go in. Looks like it was taken, so Dax, no purple buff for him.
Yeah. You were just about to say that the junglers need to get their buffs, and King Kong already stole one. 1.2k gold lead for Fnatic Onic Philippines, but still Falcon Esports still putting on, trying to control the higher ground in Turtle Pit. They want to go for the neutral objectives as much as possible to try and delay Fnatic Onic Philippines' fast rotation. This is how you keep up with the tempo of Fnatic. If you can't go for kills, go for those objectives.
They're going to go for it. Feathered Airstrike. There's the kick.
Okay, paired up with a Feathered Airstrike. A mega kill coming in from Super Prince, but they're going to answer back by taking down Brusco as well. They have full control over this turtle, but King Kong will make it in time.
I'm not sure if he's going to get there in time. Dax will get the turtle.
And the Primal Wrath coming in from Kirk, but PX7 goes in with the Nether Realm. Look at King Kong with Electrifying. He's going to take down one more, make it two. No trade for Falcon. They did, however, get the turtle, but Fnatic Onic Philippines will transition in the middle lane.
Benny making his way alongside Dax. They will hold on to the turret. Benny taking a couple shots, but it's Kelra now taking that, but he's going to be fine. And meanwhile, down to the bottom side, King Kong just pushing in. There's the kick.
Oh, and the Feathered Airstriker reached Kid X, forcing him to use the Sacred Hammer to evade. And again, how many times have we seen King Kong? Actually, we don't see it because it's always an off-cam kill on the bottom lane, Naisu.
He's everywhere and anywhere that he needs to be, and it just seems like FNOP continuing on. Now, Benny could be in trouble.
Okay, there's still no Jeet Kune Do. Okay, it connected, but Benny, okay, we know that Benny is one of the best Bruno players, not just in a specific region, but actually in the whole M6. And now he has to step up, especially when it reached the 16-minute mark where Bruno is really activated, can go for a potential comeback up against Fnatic Onic Philippines. But in order to do that, the rest of the members from Falcon need to step up and try to extend the game to that mark.
This is what FNOP likes to do. They like to play on all fronts, all lanes. Feathered Airstrike just to go ahead, get that limit test in on Royal Milk. Does get brought down under half health, but he's going to be fine. Essentially, it's Falcon Esports to go ahead and adjust, side of the lanes, top side too, maintain what they can. And like you mentioned, Benny, he needs to get to the point where, he has the space to work with. He can actually go ahead and utilize the setup from Kid X, hopefully later on, and they can even rely on Royal Milk to stay that front side again.
They're going to easily burst down Kid X right away. Not even a single reaction from Falcon Esports. Now going to transition up top. They're going to gank up on Benny.
Benny in trouble. Sliding tackle in. Brusco one hit away. Won't get it. Still alive. And they pick up a kill now on Benny.
Oh, that was a quick response for Fnatic Onic Philippines. They know that their power spike is now Super Friends with the Feathered Airstrike paired up with the Flicker. Now Kurt goes in with the Earth Shatter PX7 with the Nether Realm, but it's not going to out-sustain the damage. Kelra goes in with a Blazing Duet. That's going to be a double kill for King Kong. And just like that, in your words, Naisu, Fnatic Onic Philippines, they're just too damn good.
Right now, they are charged up and ready to go. They'll get this turtle as well. It is still 2-1 in terms of turtles, but man, every fight that's going right now, it's FNOP that comes out on top of it. They have to be able to take down Super Friends. I mean, we've seen the utilization of the Flicker defensively, aggressively, and everything. So Falcon Esports, they want to be able to lock someone down, but who do they get? Because even when you think they're actually going to be able to kind of withstand a forced fight, it's either Kirk or it's Brusco. Every time that Flicker is available to Brusco, he's going in, trying to set up a kick here. Now at this point, they'll have to respond. Falcon Esports trying to find up what they can. And when you're looking at the damage, the amount of damage that's being done here, they just need more time to farm up. the fact that they have this fairness in their favor, it's not the same amount of damage burst that comes out from Super Prince.
You know, at this point, Super Prince is really trying to force PX7 to use the Nether Realm right away before they fully commit, but here comes the play. Oh, Kikondo plus Flicker combination, gonna bring down Royal Milk. Infernal Pursuit's not gonna be enough now. Again, gonna transition onto Dax. Will they overcommit though? They don't have minions, and under the turret, they might go for the discipline route and just walk away.
Falcon at this point trying to get what they can across the map. It's probably going to be this tier 1, but they get the information that you guys might want to back off from that as the rotation comes through from Fnatic, Onic, PH, and this is what they like to do. Dax in trouble.
Kelra?
Still going to be fine. Kelra won't dive into that, but they will work on the tier 2 turret now. PX7 joining him up. Not going to go down just yet, but Super Prince.
Another Dare Strike, going to connect onto 2, forcing PX7 and Dax to walk away. Zoning them out. Fnatic, Onic, Philippines. They're going to have minions under the middle lane. Are they going to commit the mid push? Because right now they have a 7.3k gold lead. At this point, you're free to do anything.
Yeah, when you have this kind of lead, it's really... You have to be very careful on how you approach some of these fights. Even into this first Lord, if Falcon Esports approaches it and gets out of place, out of position, I would say even if Kid X gets that implosion set up, again, mind you, they've got a couple of things to work out. There's the kick from Brusco.
Plus the feathered airstrike, forcing PX7 to use the Nether Realm right away. King Kong onto the back line. Whoa! Okay, manages to get an implosion, but Brusco picks up the kill. Royal Milk has to flicker away. Here comes the Fnatic Onic Philippines. Kirk with a Primal Wrath, but they're going to answer right back and take down one Fnatic member down.
Oh, Super Prince.
That's 2 kills for Fnatic Onic Philippines in exchange for Kirk.
He's keeping Dax there. Dax going to go ahead and regen, but King Kong will jump in. Super Prince waiting patiently, relying on Benny to come help him out. He wants to clear that wave. Oh, there's the feathered airstrike. They're going to cancel it out so he doesn't get the one last in, and Super Prince will back off, but they bought themselves enough time to secure the Lord for FNOP. King Kong waits a little bit longer, and there you go. Objective secured.
Fortunately for Falcon Esports, you know, the Faram is actually scared off Super Prince's far, so that was one more hit to Dax with a feathered airstrike. So Falcon Esports, they did not lose any bodies, but Fnatic Onic Philippines, they got the Lord uncontested, and now they're going to try and make sure the minions are, the minion waves are managed. Going to try and take down all inhibitor turrets as much as possible with a 9.2k gold lead.
Again, it's a massive lead for them, so Falcon Esports backs against the wall. We saw a preview of the team fight potential. Even if an implosion is set up, they just don't have enough firepower right now. So this main idea might be to get a pick here. King Kong, though, elusive as he is on the Joy, will be able to just freely get away. Still waiting for that Lord to push in. So Falcon wants to stay in this game with this kind of deficit is they've got to be able to pull the Holy Defense off. A miracle play, if you will. They try to hold on at the tier 2 in the mid. Kirk will jump in, gets the tackle out. Feathered airstrike drop down, and the shields are going to be popping. There's Brusco once again as a threat, looking for the kick. They just get a couple shots in the base turrets as King Kong approaches that bottom wave. But right now, Falcon Esports holding in. This might be the moment, though, as this next powered-up wave will push into the base.
Okay, Brusco has the conceal. He does have the flicker. But I think Fnatic Onic Philippines, they're not going to overcommit because Falcon Esports made quick work of the mid lane minions and now going to transition onto the top and to the bottom. Fnatic Onic Philippines trying to play as disciplined as possible. They can't find the proper angle to penetrate the defense, to penetrate the front line and get to Benny.
Still, give it up to Falcon Esports, even despite being down this much. Hold on to their base turrets, even if it's just barely in the mid lane. Looking at the items, you can see the glaring difference between the gold laners. You know, nearly 3,000 gold difference. And they're able to take a risk because of the fact that Kelra has these items now in the mid lane.
Kid X targets Kirk onto the back line, gonna get ganked up by 5 Super to the rescue. The feathered airstrike gonna take down Kirk. Once again, Fnatic Onic Philippines, King Kong with the electrifying beach, trying to go for the back line, but PX7 with a clutch Nether Realm, and all the while Kelra just worked on the top lane inhibitor turret, executed flawlessly by Fnatic, but a heads-up play for Kid X for Falcon Esports.
Took them a little bit longer, but they got the 2 base turrets down off of that Lord take. And again, Kelra now picking up the Malefic Roar. As we were saying, the spark difference between the gold laner damage is massive. And so we're looking at another 5+ minutes, really, for Falcon Esports possibly to get back in fighting form. They might have to go ahead and give up even the next Lord at this point, unless they can somehow get a pick off. And I feel like that's what they've been trying to do. but it just hasn't worked because most of the times you have people like, you know, these heroes like the Joy that are just scouting things out, and King Kong can easily get away unless he's locked down properly. Picks up the Divine Glaive himself, so the amount of magic damage being utilized here between him and Super Prince, and even to an extent, Kirk is a massive.
Yeah.
The Lord will be started up. Still looking to make a play up there on the top, trying to get that tier 1 down. Quick work on this Lord take.
Okay, an uncontested Lord for Fnatic, Onic, Philippines, and Falcon Esports. They're no longer looking for a trade. I think with their current composition, they can, however, try and clear this, especially if no one gets picked off and Kid X makes another miracle implosion play. So it's still possible for Falcon Esports to try and turn things around and force the game to the 16-17 minute mark when Benny is going to be activated for their side.
Benny's positioning is what's crucial here. You can still play around the fact that you have a Netherrealm to help you. He's got a little bit of defensive, picks up the Rose Gold Meteor, so he's got that BOD also for Dax on this, possibly the last defense. We'll see how they play apart. FNOP takes the last base turret in, and now walking in slowly with the Lord up front. Taking a couple shots, they still respect the damage that can come out. Benny on the front side, gonna get checked, but they actually defend, even despite the 13K lead right now for FNOP. Not sure if they actually go in further. It looks like they do really want to just be disciplined here because of the fact that they have to respect how much utility is actually there for Falcon Esports.
Yeah, again, they have the Netherrealm, and Kid X can go in anytime with the implosion. So Fnatic, Onic, Philippines, even if they have this huge lead, 12.9k, even if they had the Lord, even if they have damage coming in from Kelra, the utility, the PX7 alone with the Netherrealm is going to be enough for Falcon Esports to out-sustain 2 to 3 seconds worth of damage coming in from Fnatic, Onic, Philippines, and eventually enable Benny to just wreak havoc up against Fnatic, Onic, Philippines. Not to mention, he did, however, pick up the Rose Gold Meteor, as you mentioned, and he does has his Purify. So in terms of positioning, when it comes to those clashes, it's going to be also hard for Fnatic, Onic, Philippines to lock down on Benny.
Sort of surprised, you know, with FNOP, even with the lead that they have, based off even what we saw in game 1, how kind of slow they're taking that approach into the base. And part of it really is just because, for example, if one person goes down from FNOP and they overextend into a base push, that's a whole lot of gold going to whoever gets that kill from Falcon Esports. And if it's Benny, obviously he's pretty much there. I mean, he does have the itemization that he needs, still working on the last one. But you can already see it. You know, when they get a preview of the damage, when they're defending, it's there. And a Netherrealm alone is enough. No matter how behind PX7 was, for example, Netherrealm is enough utility and enough value to actually turn base defenses, where we've seen this even in previous competitive games for MLB before, where a Netherrealm, a clutch timing on it, can keep you into the game. So it's FNOP practicing that disciplined approach. You're still waiting for that Lord to come up. Not really going to be able to find anything from this, so rather just kind of at a stalemate until Falcon Esports gets in that defense mode again.
Yeah, Fnatic, Onic, Philippines gonna do this by the book. Gonna try and get an uncontested Lord, but looking at the position of the rest of the members of Fnatic, Onic, Philippines, if someone for Falcon Esports tried to get information, get vision, for sure Fnatic, Onic, Philippines won't be afraid to try and dive down and get a burst.
Well, Lord's up here now, so Falcon will just let it get taken. They know that even if they approach towards this, it's going to be gone in an instant, as it is. Another Lord now in the hands of FNOP. This is most likely the one that could end the game. So have they bought enough time earlier on? We did say, you know, Falcon Esports needs about 5 minutes. They got the 5 minutes. They made that work. That was one of the boxes they had to check. Now can they make this a team fight, a defense to possibly turn the game in its favor? Again, they have, what, no turrets down. So they have to win a base defense and possibly swing towards the base of FNOP. And as they wait for that Lord to approach, FNOP will deal with the ways managing them up. And this is one of the things, you know, Dax himself has good damage on the Suyo, but he's nearly just got to wait for Kid X. If Kid X lands this implosion, it's going to be great, but already Kid X in trouble.
They got spotted out and bursted down. Kid X Immortality will be popped. Whoop. That's one member down for Falcon Esports, but Kelra actually is not going to mind Kid X anymore. They want to go for the tower push.
Without Kid X, though, can they even win this fight here? They're going to break out.
Okay, they're going to zone out the members of Falcon Esports with a feathered airstrike. They're going to log onto the base and win game number 2 for Fnatic, Onic, Philippines.